What's the burger taste like, Tuan?
Get it, it's the Hercules sponsored burger.
Like God? Is that what you said? Like a God?
I accidentally pressed it. Okay.
How was your lunch today? Okay. You take it?
Yeah.
Right now?
Yeah.
I'm out of here. Is everything okay?
Yeah, everything's fine. Thank you.
No problem.
I was actually really confused because I thought she was just a random woman coming into
Yeah,
us.
same. To become...
Are you guys all set? Anyone for dessert?
Nah, I think we're good.
Okay.
One more time.
Oh, hello, fellow children of the internet. I'm your lovely host, Lord Snuff and Father. And this is my assistant, It Thing. But seriously, hi guys, I'm Tuan, my sister Bethany. It has been a while since I made a video, and that is mostly because I'm lazy. But also in part that I've had a lot on my mind. One of them being making comics, which is something I was thinking about doing, and I started drawing one, and hopefully it'll be done soon. But no promises. Little preview of it. It's called Demon Hunter. It's a story about a 13-year-old kid who is training to defeat demons and ghosts and such things, because he has this natural born ability to be able to see ghosts and demons in their natural forms. That's how he operates. The storyline has not come along too well, as I just started drawing yesterday. Hopefully the first comic will be done by the end of August. Anyways, I brought my sister along to do this video.
Yeah!
We're at Red Robin right now. We're going to be talking about, in light of the new comics, superheroes and comic books.
Red Robin. So I think it's fitting. It behooves the situation that we are at Red Robin, because all it does is make me think of Batman.
Yeah,
Like Batman and Robin. Batman and Red
I also
Robin.
like how on the outside of the door it just looks like a superhero, like Robin symbol.
Yeah, it has a nice R, and it's like red and gold, and it's like superheroes.
Yeah.
I always wanted to be a superhero, and then I realized that I couldn't be. So then I wanted to be a princess, and then I realized I couldn't do that either. So I wanted to be a cheerleader, and then I realized that I didn't want to do that. And then I wanted to be a ballerina, and then I realized I couldn't do that. So any of my prospects of wanting to be a cheerleader or a vampire slayer or super famous are basically shot out of the water. But I'm still hopeful.
Vampire Slayer?
Well, yeah, cheerleading, Buffy, like, do you see where my train of thought went?
Some of you kids are too young for that stuff.
Feeling old.
Yeah. I always, my favorite superhero ever since I was a child was Spider-Man.
Spider-Man!
Probably because it was the first superhero I ever learned about. But,
Regardless.
but yeah, so after I've seen a lot of superhero movies, read a lot of comics. I haven't read a lot of comics. I've had a lot of comics read to me. I think that's an accurate description of what happened.
Our Uncle Sasha, we'll put a picture of him right here.
Yes.
Our Uncle Sasha. He's a very nice guy, and he knows a ton about comic books and superheroes and all that stuff. I wish we could have gotten him for this video. Yeah, we should have thought about that a little bit. Too late now.
Oh well. But yeah. So after like a lot of looking, I started like making up my own storylines about superheroes, and one of them was Demon Hunter. And it came about randomly because one of my favorite musician bands, their name is Demon Hunter. And I started thinking, you know, wouldn't it be crazy if there was like a series about a guy who actually hunts demons with their like little insignia on his back?
Wow, I didn't realize realize that was where you got the idea from.
Yeah, that's where I drew my inspiration from, was actually from that. And then, after a little bit, my dad informed me, thank you for that, by the way, because my breath stinks.
So does mine.
But afterwards, my dad showed me a little series called Supernatural. I'm a little worried I'm stealing their ideas. However, as I found out in Supernatural, Sam and Dean wound up fighting demons. However, Demon Hunter's specific purpose was to fight demons.
Yeah, he was like made for it.
Yeah. I will warn some of you kiddies out there that this is a strictly Christian comic book.
Yeah.
Although it may get a little gory.
Yeah, so that like there will be no like swearing or like really dirty scenes or anything like that, but it will be all from like a Christian point of view.
Because really there's not much other way to fight demons. In reality, there is.
In reality. So much reality in the fiction.
Although you do have one thing to look forward to. It's not all going to be just reading from the Bible at a demon. It's mostly going to consist of fighting.
Yeah. It'll be action-y.
It'll be epic.
Do you have any other relationships so far, like family or anything like that?
The Demon Hunter's main character is Johnny. And the problem with Johnny is that he's an orphan. Ever since he was about 2, his father and his mother were killed by a demon, unbeknownst to him. So he's grown up all his life inside an orphanage. The only thing he knows is that his parents are out of the picture. He doesn't know how. All he knows is that they're not there. And so, unfortunately, Johnny is a very, scrawny kid. And he's given the nickname Scrawny Johnny at the orphanage. He's picked on a lot by a lot of people, except for one girl whose name is Valerie, who becomes, one of his best friends. And then emo kid, whose name is Eric, who brings Johnny and Valerie into, these, seances and, has them playing with Ouija boards a lot. It's really just interesting to see how he's playing with all this satanic stuff, and then he goes over to fight with God against demons shortly after.
That's cool.
The thing is, the story starts off with Johnny just kind of in the orphanage, and you start seeing his interactions with the other kids and such. And then you see that one day they are all brought outside, and you find out that Johnny knows this homeless guy, whose name is David. And David is a really nice and intelligent man when he's around Johnny. As far as anybody else goes, he acts like your average homeless guy.
Wow.
But turns out along the way that there was some guy robbing a store that Johnny was inside of. And Johnny, being a bit of a hero-liker, tries to go and stop him, and to almost no avail, but he does show a little bit of strength in the matter. And nearby is David. And David takes him to this weird, abandoned warehouse, only to find some other really strong guy inside. The lights come on, and you see all this weaponry lining the walls. You see a whole bunch of books on a shelf that are almost spell books by the looks of things. And then you see this man come up to Johnny, and he knows Johnny. Johnny doesn't know how he knows him. Nobody knows how he knows him. He just knows him. Turns out, David and this man are both Demon Hunter. Demon Hunter is a lineage that throughout generation upon generation there has always been Demon Hunters. Ever since the time of Jesus. They're actually descended from the line of his brother James.
Wow. That's pretty cool. So, I'm actually wondering about the animation, because I haven't actually seen any of his sketches or drawings for this yet. He's done other sketches in the past for this, but I haven't seen any of them.
It's funny.
Is Johnny going to look like Greg?
Johnny is not going to look like Greg. Johnny actually, it took a lot of inspiration around from Johnny, because for the back I wanted it to be Demon Hunter, but Demon Hunter came around the time of when I was like 15, so it was when I was like watching a lot of cartoons. One of those cartoons being Johnny Test. So Johnny, his original look looks a little bit more like Johnny Test. He's very young. He has like swooping hair, big eyes, but he's also a very confused kind of child. But as soon as Johnny gets his Demon Hunter look on, he looks a little bit more like Johnny Bravo because he has these special sunglasses that have to help him to make sure he doesn't get possessed.
Yeah.
So
he doesn't look like anything like our youngest brother.
Yeah, he doesn't look
He's
anything
just
like
really
our-
scrawny like him.
Yeah, he starts out scrawny, but he goes through 3 years of training to build up the resistance for most demon threats and most supernatural threats. I mean.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
You've obviously thought about this like a lot.
I have thought about this a lot.
But
What's
you
very
really have to for stories like that.
Yeah. What's really interesting about the storylines that I've thought of is that they always intersect at different points. Like, for instance, Demon Hunter goes to a specific orphanage. A lot of stuff for all the comics that I have lined up that I'm trying to start happen at this orphanage. Like, another main character from another series I'm willing to start, Unlimited, one of the main characters winds up going to that orphanage just after Johnny.
Wow. Okay. So you have like all of these intertwined. That's really cool.
All the comics intertwined at some point. In fact, the daughter of one of the characters later is supposed to become Johnny's girlfriend.
Wow. Okay. So I have a question.
Yes.
Are we going to try and incorporate the Helena game with any of this kind of stuff?
I would love to.
Like
do
one time
that, but
Helena teams up with Johnny or something like that?
I would love to do that. That would be fantastic to do.
Okay. Because Twan and I, a long time ago, had joked about what if we made this comic strip that was based off of some of our friends from our church in our neighborhood and stuff like that. And we actually came up with like a relatively solid storyline, so we might be telling you guys about that later. But that's pretty cool. Alright. Well, I think that we've talked a lot about superheroes for now.
Yes.
I'm not even sure if my camera caught all of this. So, thanks for having me on your channel, Twan.
Not a problem.
And I'm excited for this comic to come out. I'm excited for us to work on our comic and for all that to happen. Alrighty, cool.
So far, there's nothing that you and I can't do.